Hey everybody, welcome. It is that time for another Launching Life's Journeys podcast. I am your host, Will Miller, and as you can see, my lovely co-host continues to make me jealous as she's spreading the MARVAC love all throughout the Upper Peninsula of Michigan as I'm here in my office. Now, I'm going to put aside my jealousy. We're going to have fun because we have an amazing couple in Brice and Vicki MacRoberts with some exciting news. They are the owners, proprietors of the Kritters Campground in Newberry, Michigan. There's a lot of exciting things to talk about because this is their first year. And next week, May 15th, they are open for all you families to go to an amazing destination in Newberry, Michigan. So, Brice, Vicki, thank you for taking some time to be with myself and Miss Maris Brennan from MARVAC on our special MARVAC Campground series of the Launching Life's Journeys podcast.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so before we hit record, we had Brice calm down. He was jumping, going all crazy. I said, let's calm it down, okay? So there's a lot of exciting things. Let's first start with, before we get into all the value that you guys are bringing, your goals for your first year, Maris, why don't you talk to them about what made them go crazy to go ahead and do this adventure and become campground owners?
All right. See, that was one of the first questions when I called and said, hey, you guys want to do this? And they're like, well, we just moved here in February. I'm like, you moved to the UP in February? So let's talk about that. What were you guys doing beforehand?
I was a massage therapist for several years, and then recently I've been working at a oil company. I worked for a bulk fuel company, and I worked that for several years. And then COVID hit, and we were working from home, and I was remote. And I enjoyed being remote, and I didn't really want to commute anymore. And
I worked at the same place for 24 years. Worked my way up from the floor into the management position. Did that for quite a long time. So.
And our kids, one they left. One went to Oregon, and one was going to college in Indiana. And we looked at her around, and we thought, we got 20 more years of working in us, and I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to commute anymore. And we're little empty nesters, and we can start getting the adventure on without having to worry about lugging kids around. And we've always been campers. We've had several different kinds of campers our whole life. And we were Cub Scout leaders. He was a Cub Scout pack master. And we just enjoyed being outside and everything. And we hadn't been to the UP. And so he came home from work one day, and I had a really, really bad day at work. And I was like, hey, I'm going to quit my job. And he's like, great, what are we going to do? And so I said, what if we got into business? And I was like, I'm thinking about campgrounds. And he's like, to work at a campground? I'm like, no, I think we want to own one. So we kind of looked into it a little bit more, and then we found a broker, Campground Connections, and she was wonderful. Marilyn, she was great, and she said, hey, where are you guys looking? And I said, we're from Indiana. We love the Midwest. I don't want to go somewhere really hot. And she's like, well, guess what? I got a place for you. And we looked, and we came up to the UP, and we looked at each other and said, this is it. This is where we want to be. There's nothing like it in America. And we love Michigan, fell in love with Michigan. And we were here about 20 minutes and said, okay, what do we got to do? Show us some papers. Mm-hmm. And that was in July, August. And by the time everything happened, it was the middle of February, and crossing that Mackinac Bridge in February is real fun with all of your stuff. And we had some really good family members who they came up here, and the snow was up to my nose, and helped us unload all of our stuff to the campground. And that was our journey, and that's how we got here.
That is unbelievable. So again, you guys had, as you were raising your family, you had been avid campers and you traveled all over the place. You guys had not ever been to the UP at all, or had you? But
we always wanted to visit the UP. It just never happened. We were always closer to home in Lower Michigan and Indiana, Illinois, but we just hadn't made it to the UP yet. And wow. We were excited when they told us that there was one available. Yeah. And we came up here and fell in love with it.
Well, let me just tell you, for all of the campers out there, UP is probably the best part of Michigan, arguably. So when you are saying it's too far, you have to go over the big bridge, it's a really good adventure. It really, really is.
It's worth it. It's worth it. And it's a different, it's almost like a different planet sometimes. You know, it's a different way of life. Everything is slower, everything is calmer, everything is quieter, you know, and the people are they're not in a hurry, they're friendly, and it's a different way of life. I am in love with Michigan.
That is awesome. And I hope that you keep this positive spirit when you have maybe some valleys or challenges. And we pray that you don't have any. So a couple of things just to give everybody some context for those listening or for those that are watching our special MARVAC campground series on YouTube. The location again, it's Kritters Campground's the name. It's in Newberry, Michigan. I will say with respect to the previous owner, this is turnkey. So you guys didn't start with just vacant lot. You did take over. It's new ownership. You guys are the new owners. So a line in the sand because you can't look backwards. It messes with your neck. Moving forward, the thing that I want to give you guys the most amount of credit for, a lot of families, thousands of families, they think, great idea. We live in this big house. The kids lock themselves in the bedroom. Let's buy an RV that's a 20th of the size of the house, and then we're all going to be together happy with no devices. Well, that is simply not the case. One of the things I want to give both of you guys credit for, as you went with your gut and you went all in on Kritters Campground, the first thing that Kritters Campground did for all you parents out there with teens that are not the most social, put them on your calendar now. Get a hold of Kritters Campground and book for this one reason only. They will now have Wi-Fi, wireless internet available at Kritters Campground. Since you guys took over, and all joking aside, you are really taking a look at the campers today versus the campers of yesterday. What have been some of the other things that you guys have had to just get to work on since February? I heard that, we were talking offline, the snow just thawed about 10 minutes before we started this interview. So what have been some other things that you have had to do to prepare for this upcoming season here starting May 15th?
Yeah, and I will say that the previous owners had started working on the Wi-Fi, and just now we're able to follow through with that. And
so credit to them as well.
Yes. In the cabins, all the lodging, we've upgraded to queen beds.
Okay.
We put in different TVs, and they have Wi-Fi as well. We're adding some playground equipment, a slide, and more swings for the kids. What else?
We've done new signage. We have new signs. A lot of the signs are hard to see on the different sites, so we have all new signage going in. We're upgrading the trails, access to the trails. We've also talked to the local. We have a couple of neighbors. We have a lot of ATVers and side-by-siders that are coming out, and they had access throughout the winter. The snowmobilers, because we're open during the winter as well. Our cabins are open for snowmobilers or just people who want to be out in the snow. And we have access to the main Michigan snow trails, the state trails through our property. Well, we talked to the neighbors, and they're allowing us to cut through the property as well. So anybody with an ATV will be able to use that to get to the different trails. So that was kind of a nice upgrade for them.
How many acres of trails do you think that you have access to now?
So many.
Thousands of miles.
Yeah.
So many. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't not. I mean, you could, I suppose, go on the same trail twice, but there would be no reason to go on the same trail twice. There are tons of them. We went walking last night, and it was just beautiful back there. It's just starting to bud out now, and it's a gorgeously peaceful place.
It's very, very quiet. It's one of the things that sold us on this campground was the trails on the property, and we have 76 acres. Several of them are trails. One of the things we did do in town, we've made a few friends with businesses. We got a local pizza place that's going to deliver to the campground pizzas for us. So families come and they check in and they just don't have the fire set up or whatever. They can order pizzas. There's been so many improvements.
You've done a lot.
The golf course.
local product in your store too.
Oh yes, so I did install a store. They had a little entryway before. We completely gutted it. We took out some walls and expanded it. So now we have a store with candy and ice cream, and we have merch. We have some Kritters hoodies and shirts, hats, coffee mugs, different things like that. So it's gonna be it's a full service store. I'm gonna have a lot of items there. And the golf course, you did the golf course partnership.
We worked with them for a discount for our guests. So.
Golf packages.
All right. Hey guys, I'm going to pause. I'm going to timestamp this. There we are.
Okay.
Now we got video back. Okay. So I'm going to start again. So I'm just going to ask, and what is this that you guys have? There's a nearby golf course, and you can say that again. Okay. So here we go. So 3, 2, 1. And also we were talking about, there's a golf course nearby, and you guys had a partnership with them. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So they're offering a discount for our guests as well. The golf course at the other end of town.
And again, I always want to have this reminder, you know, Maris and I, as we've been plugging away, people are starting to like follow us, almost like that TV show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Like all these people, and it's true though, right? Every state, and I've been coast to coast, north, south, east, west, throughout North America. Oh, we lost video again. Hold on. And we're back. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. So I've been coast to coast throughout North America, north, south, east, west, and we have come to the conclusion, a lot of people, there's so many great places to go that residents in their own state have only gone to like 3 of those things. But, you know, again, for everybody listening, in the UP, it's not a separate state. It's part of Michigan. There's the mitten and then there's the rabbit, as they say. There are a ton of amazing places to go from my understanding. Maris, what are some of the places that they are located near in Newberry, Michigan?
Okay, so, well, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but one of the things that's on my bucket list is cuddling a bear. I want to snuggle a little black bear so badly. Okay. And there is, 3 miles? Oh, yeah. 3 miles from here, Oswald's Bear Ranch. And they are a place where orphaned cubs can go, and it's a wildlife refuge for them. And I really feel like I should get to snuggle a bear there.
Oh my lands. Well, there's also, right? Well, of course, only you're going to know every one of them and have a name for them by the time you leave. So for everybody that's not as crazy as you and petting bears, Vicki, Brice, what are some of the other very popular spots that a lot of families go to in your area around Newberry?
One of the biggest attractions is the Tahquamenon Falls, which is only 20 minutes down the road from us.
Wow!
And you just pull out of our driveway and you head that way and you hit the falls. And they get over 1 million visitors a year. Wow. They have upper falls and lower falls, and it's really cool because you can spend a whole entire day there. They also have a gift shop. There's a brewery there with a really good restaurant, and they change their menu up throughout the season. And then especially in the summertime, they also have food trucks that come out there as well.
Wow.
And there's they just built another gift shop in the lower falls. They're working on that down there. So Tahquamenon Falls is a real big thing. And then you want to talk about the lighthouse?
Yep, Chris Point.
Point.
It's a little bit of a rough road, but you can buy the t-shirt, I survived the drive to Chris Point when you get there. It's not too bad most of the time, just depends on the rain, but it's a beautiful lighthouse on Lake Superior. And before you get there, if you would rather cuddle puppies, there's My Dog. It's a training facility, right, for the sled dogs.
Yes.
And so you can cuddle the puppies there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going there.
Yes, I know.
Oh man.
Now with her puppies.
Yep.
So she spends the winter in Alaska with the sled dogs, and in the summer she comes back here with a new breed of puppy and her other dogs, and she trains them up here for the sleds. We also have Nature's Kennel, which that's in the winter time, but for our winter guests, you can go on a sled dog run, and you can either ride or you can drive.
No way. That's
and
awesome.
There's cabins. You can go on a couple hour drive or ride, and then you can stay in a cabin and feed the dogs and take care of the dogs with a handler, and then come back. So they have a lot of packages as well. So Nature's Kennel.
How cool is that? Kitty
Kippy.
Yes. Kippy. Okay, oh, I was so sure I had it.
Yeah. So Kitty Kippy is Very, very cool. It's a state park, and it's a sulfur springs. So they have a raft. It's got a glass bottom that you rotate your wheel on, and you can go across the springs and look down and see it, and you see the fish, and there's different,
Yeah, the natural springs are coming up through the bottom of the pond there, whatever
Wow.
it is. And you can see right through all the clear water. So it's all that spring water coming up. I think it's like 40,000 gallons a
it's
day
super
or something.
cool.
I don't know.
And
But it's really neat.
we're about an hour and a half away from Sault Ste. Marie. So you've got the Soo Locks, you've got Canada. You can cross the border if you have your passport, which we did that with our kids. They wanted poutine. They were very excited. Yes, they got poutine and maple syrup. I mean, who knew?
Yeah.
Pictured Rocks.
Pictured
About
Rocks.
hour and 20 minutes away to either end,
Stunning.
Grand Marais or the Munising side, and you can take a boat tour out on Lake Superior, or you can hike
Kayak.
the trails,
You
or
can
you can
kayak in the
kayak.
Pictured
Yeah.
Rocks as well.
It's really cool to see the colors on the sandstone on the cliffs
Newberry
there.
is such a cool community. It's very small and it's right square in the middle.
It is.
So
Yeah.
if you want a place where you can park your RV and then go find the cool stuff, this is your place.
Yeah, and that's, one of the things that Maris and I, as we've been plodding along, every campground has unique offerings. And I think, we've talked to some, down in the Mitten side of Michigan that, as owners, they've worked to have a lot of events for families on site. And then there's others that, are a little bit more blessed with some of those extracurricular activities. So, being the fact that, you guys have historically been known for thousands of miles of groomed trails for ORVs and snowmobiles and outdoor power sports. And then you've got all these amazing destination spots that are bucket lists for many families is remarkable. And also, too, I know like when Maris first introduced me to Kritters Campground, even still on site, you guys have a lot of activity. So I think that's a really great blend because you allow the families to make their own adventures, they make their own schedule. But whether, you have families that are more like me, scared to death of wildlife and doesn't want to leave the RV or the cabin.
So
You
you're
have a
saying
lot
you're
of-
not coming to the Bear Ranch with me?
1,000%. I'll look at your pictures, but I'm good. I'm not going to try and touch them just in case one of the Cubs' ma or dad is out in the distance and they're like, that guy, I'm going after that guy. But, you have so many amenities on site. You've got your playground equipment, sand volleyball, basketball, horseshoes, cornhole. Pets are even welcome.
Yes, they're very pet friendly.
So just like I said, it's always exciting when Maris and I, interviewed each campground. But again, I think being that you are right in the middle of everything to embrace that the UP is known for with wildlife and being in the outdoors, whoever your broker was, God bless them for aligning you guys. I think that this is going to be perfect for both, Brice and Vicki. I'm really excited for both of you as, again, you guys are getting ready to open up May 15th through October 8th, 2023. The lodging is open and available year round. Are you guys finding, I also understand that you have a unique partnership with Booking. Can you kind of speak to that? And then the second question, are you guys already getting some blackout dates, or should there be some priorities that you guys are seeing where if families are trying to get to your location, they should probably be booking sooner than later?
Yeah, I'll see that.
Yeah, we recently switched to CampSpot for our booking, and
Okay.
it's very easy to use for the guest, and that was our priority when we chose a reservation system, was to make sure that it was easy for the user, not just for us as campground owners, but absolutely make sure that the guest, it's clear, it's concise, it's just a few clicks and very easy to book and enjoy your vacation here.
Well, and I do. Oh, go ahead.
In the time of year that's happening right now, July is filling up very fast.
Okay.
So if you're looking for, I'd say June 15th to August 15th, those are booking fast. So that would be the priority to get those booked right away.
Yeah, and I know like in the beginning, Maris kind of overtook the conversation with her laughter and tears when she found out about the Cubs and the puppies. So I do want to get back to a little bit, I'm kidding, to some meat and potatoes though for everybody. Like I said, you guys, you are open beyond October 8th for the lodging. So I assume that's for primarily like the snowmobilers, or the true outdoor enthusiasts.
Hunting,
What's that?
fishing.
Hunting and fishing.
Okay, so I do want to just back up, going back to kind of the meat and the potatoes. So as far as how many total RV spots do you guys have on site?
We have 50 total sites. 10
Okay.
are primitive tent sites. 40 are pull-through RV sites. 22 of those 40 are full hookup. The others are either electric or electric and water.
Okay, and then how many
Yeah.
how many people can occupy in your year-round lodging? How many total capacity?
In the lodging, we have 2 cabins and a cottage.
Okay.
The cabins can occupy 4 people each,
Okay.
and the cottage is up to 6 people with
Okay.
2 separate bedrooms and a pull-out sofa.
And
Okay.
let me tell you, well, I was staying in one of the cabins. So comfy. The beds are
Uh-huh.
fantastic. Just saying. A good
That's
night's sleep
awesome.
is a primo thing.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
One of the things we did before we purchased the campground was we stayed in the cabins. And so we stayed in one of the cabins. We wanted to see what it was like. And then when we purchased the campground, we stayed in the other cabin, and then we lived in the lodge for a week or 2 before we could move into the house. So we personally stayed in each one of the cabins. We wanted to make sure that if you're sleeping on a bed, it's a comfortable bed. If you're sitting on a couch, it's a comfortable couch. So that's why we did a few upgrades, because we were personally staying in them, and we
Yeah.
wanted them to be comfortable. So we've changed the curtains, and we've changed the bedding, and we added new mattresses, and done some upgrades on the decks and things, and just to make it a little more comfortable for families. Because people don't just come up here for 1 or 2 days; they come up here for a week or more.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be staying in a space together, you want it to be comfortable. We have grills outside each lodging as well, so you have a grill to use to camp or to cook for your food as well.
Okay, awesome. And I do want to point out, so as you guys said, it wasn't me, you said it, you do have your reservation partnership through CampSpot, so you can find Kritters Campground on CampSpot for booking. Of course, if you want to call them, if you're more comfortable, just, I'm kind of that way too. I like, I'm more of a touchy-feely. I want to get to know everybody. You can contact Kritters Campground at 906-293-8562. If you also want to find more information about Kritters Campground, I'm very confident you can find a whole lot of information on the marvac.org website, because you two are also proud members of MARVAC. And just to recap, I know we change it up all the time, Maris, because I'm a little crazy. While we have the platform and we mentioned marvac.org, who is MARVAC? Who is this company that you work for that allows you to pet wild, crazy animals like bear?
I haven't asked that yet. That's probably going to be a beg for forgiveness plan.
Smart.
But the MARVAC is the Michigan Association of RVs and Campgrounds. They're the state trade association for this industry. So one of the reasons that I am up here in the UP is because it's National Tourism Week, and the week that we're filming. And I'm here representing camping in the Upper Peninsula. So I've been out talking to campgrounds and doing all of that cool stuff. And then tomorrow I'll get an opportunity to share that information out with Travel Michigan and with the fine folks at Under the Radar.
Yeah. So Brice and Vicki, just know that you're with a celebrity now. MARVAC and Maris was handpicked, and she's getting a lot of exposure on the things that she's doing. So I, of course, have just, following her to kind of ride her coattails for the attention and all the excitement that she's bringing to MARVAC. And I just think it is great because, again, as we talk, that's what really led me to partnering with Maris on this, is their commitment to advocacy and promotion to all the entrepreneurs out there that are extending basically their home and their property for thousands of families to have amazing memories created, just like you two are with Kritters Campground. So yeah, as I said, as we discussed, you've got 50 sites for RVs, ranging in some of the amenities that are needed. So you can again call, get your information on the marvac.org site, or of course CampSpot to book. What else? You guys are again opening May 15th. Are you guys doing anything additional to your website? Maybe mention what is your website, as well as social media. Are you guys on social media, and how can people find more information about Kritters Campground?
Yeah, you can find us at critterscampground.com. That's critters with a K. And also on Facebook at Kritters Campground and Instagram.
Okay, awesome. So I have to ask, now, what do the three of you have planned? Are you guys going to go see the bear here after this interview, or,
Not the bears yet.
I wish. No, I think we're probably going to have pizza delivered, and we're probably going to light the fire and just have a chill night.
Yeah, the
That is
snow went
awesome.
away, so we're celebrating.
Almost. I can still see snow right over there. There's still snow.
Oh man. So again, I just, on behalf of Heartland RV, the proud sponsor of the Launching Life Journeys podcast, I want to thank both Brice and Vicki for you guys taking time, sharing your story. I think it's incredible. You guys went with your intuition and you're going all in. I believe that you guys are going to be very successful your first year. I wish you guys nothing but again, success and a very good opening season. For everybody, again, Kritters Campground, Newberry, Michigan. Find them on Facebook, find them on their website. Get booking now, especially if you're thinking July. Why would you guys go here? Well, if you want to experience everything that's wonderful in the great state of Michigan, from all the outdoor activities to Tahquamenon Falls, these destination spots, if you want to be at a campground that has Wi-Fi and tons of amenities for your family, and you're somebody that loves to enjoy thousands of miles of groomed trails, get some great food, some golf, you will not be disappointed with my friends Brice and Vicki MacRoberts of Kritters Campground. Thank you, all three of you. Maris, please, God, be careful with the bear. Only the cubs. Do not go pet the adults. Please, it won't end well.
Bears. Big, like Will-sized grizzly bears.
Well, again, thank you guys so much for taking some time to be a guest, share your story. Everybody, go to Kritters Campgrounds, get booked, and have an amazing experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Will Miller, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Launching Life's Journeys podcast, brought to you by Heartland RVs. Stay tuned for our next destination.